Given students an opportunity to ask you a few questions too tonight.
Great.
So I've got 11 of them that got a hold of us and had some questions. So the first one is, what will your administration do to alleviate some of the concerns involving the perception of campus police department?
I think I might have mentioned this already, but I know there has been talk about how the police department needs to do diversity training. I feel like they've singled out one group and they need that, and I feel like that's a campus-wide thing. So I think there should be diversity training for them, but I also think that that should be all of the students as well as faculty should have diversity training. So I would really like to have some seminars and some sections where all the students are invited to learn about diversity training. That's the main concern I've heard about the police department, but I feel like it's a campus-wide problem. So instead of just focusing on one group, I think we should focus on everyone and everyone learning that lesson. So
there are numerous fees that students have to pay every year. What can SGA do to clarify what these fees are for and how they are used?
We need to raise awareness. I know when I was talking to different organizations, the sad part is some students didn't even know what SGA was. And first thing I told them was, if you're a full-time student, you pay $50 every semester. And they were just like, I really do I? So I feel like we need to explain what these fees are, and I don't know if we need to during our forum, maybe we need to, or I'm trying to think of, I guess our communications director next year, because their job is, they work with PR things. I think it would be really good to have an awareness maybe week or something and explain what the fees are, maybe the things SGA does, as well as the avenues you can go through with SGA, like our FSC funds and things like that. So I feel like we need to let the students know exactly what's going on. We need to be truthful with them, and we need to disclose all that information to them, because this is their money and I feel like they should know. So whether it's a seminar or maybe a forum, we need to bring all that stuff to the table and explain it. And I think if students understand what the fees are, then they're going to know what they're being charged for, instead of saying, SGA, what's SGA? What am I being charged $50 for? And I feel like students should know what they're being charged.
So recently interviewed Dr. Varvedian, and he says that SGA is looking at the fee for Esri Health Center here on campus.
Yes.
Do you have any, can you give us any information on where that is and how you feel about it?
SGA has been talking about having a fee for the students. I don't know a lot about it, but it's a fee basically where it's a flat fee, all students pay it, and they can use the health center's services. That's basically going to ensure that the nurses are there better hours, because right now sometimes the hours are odd and you might be sick and you can't get in. My thought is on that, I feel like the students need to decide, just like any other issue that comes to the table. And I feel like it's something that I've heard a lot, even when I came here as a freshman, students saying, you know, we need to have, a lot of other colleges have this fee for health fees, and we should have that, and everyone should pay it, and then we can come in whenever we want. There'll be better insurance for it. I feel like it's something that should be brought to the students and they should vote on it. But honestly, I don't really feel like my perspective on it matters as much as what the students vote on it. Like, what I really want for our administration is not necessarily like to have objectives of, I want this passed or I want this done. More finding out, do the students want this passed? And if they don't, well then say no and be active and vote on this stuff. So I feel like it's something that should be brought to the students and decide what they want. I know Peter Gregory's kind of working on that mostly, and he knows a lot more about it. But I think with any issue, it should be brought to the students.
So you would treat an additional fee, I don't know if you're familiar with Senate Bill 389, that limits tuition, and students can voluntarily pay extra if they wish.
Right.
So if students stand up and say, I'm wanting to pay an extra $30 a semester, is your administration ready to say
Yeah, for that, I think that definitely, because that's what the students want, and I think that's what our interest is. Now, if they're not, then I'm not for it. So.
Okay. What can SGA do to bring more food options to campus?
I actually, a couple days ago, I talked to Airmark, and we are set in a contract. I'm not sure how many years it is, but they are open to suggestions. So if students give me some suggestions of things that they want, they still have to stay with that contract, but they can mix some things up, as well as I actually talked to them about calorie counts, because students want to know how many calories are in each item. And he already said that he would definitely have a book made, and they're going to have it out for distribution so students can find out how many calories are in the things they usually eat on campus. So.
And portion size.
Yes.
Yes, portion control. What type of activities would you like to see the SGA bring to Western?
I would like to do a lot more educational activities as well as fun activities. I've heard a lot of students say that instead of staying on campus, they want to go off campus. They want to go hit the bars, or they want to go to different places. And I feel like we need to be drawing all of our students onto campus, and they should want to stay here on the weekend. I know Western's Activities Council, they work with all of the different activities that we do. But I would like to see a lot more things interactive with the students, as well as maybe the spring concert. I would love for it to be on campus for all the students, because it's for the students. I mean, the community is welcome to come, but come to our campus. So I feel like that's something we need to find out. We need to find out what activities the students are interested in, and we just need to have more of those and have them consecutively so the students have something to do on campus and don't have to go off campus.
Many students feel that Missouri Western needs to have a type of campus recycling program. And it's twofold in that, we've got the need for recycling, and then we've also have boxes of empty bottles and cans sitting around in the hallway.
Right.
What can SGA do to do recycling, do it properly, clean up the appearance, and can we do all that right away?
I don't think it's something we could do right away. It's a very big thing, and also to find a way to make it cost effective. But actually, one of the suggestions I got from the Alchemist Club when I talked to them is that was something they really want to see done. And possibly getting a big recycling bin and having the different small recycling boxes and having those rooms, or maybe have the organizations responsible for those. Because if we paid for someone to get all those for us, that would be very expensive. So I feel like if the organizations and the students are willing to help, and maybe if we can put boxes by each room and all they have to do is empty it out, if we got a big bin or something, I think that might be a possibility. I need to look into the prices of those things as well as how those things would work, but that was a suggestion the Alchemist Club gave me, and I think it's something we definitely need to do. I can tell the students want it done. We just need to find a way that's going to work, and it's not just going to work for this year, but it's going to work throughout. Like, I don't want it to be something that started and then it stopped after a semester, and then 3 years later students are like, we want recycling, and I just feel like it needs to be done effectively and it needs to be planned out.
I spoke to Craig Yarrow. I don't know if you're familiar with who that is. That's our safety director for Missouri Western.
Okay.
And his concern was these boxes in the hallway. I think his opinion, if I can speak for him, was that those should be in enclosed things so they don't look as bad, and they should also be. The fear is that there's going to be rodents or bugs or something like that if you would get in there.
Okay.
So that's the type of the angle I don't know if you've thought about it that far through, but that was his concern. So I'll pass that on to you for what it's worth, department. It'd be nice to have toasters available in the food court and then in the commons. Is this something that SGA could provide?
SGA does have money, and we do pay for a lot of things to get done on campus. But I feel like SGA is not just the amount of money we have, but we are a mouthpiece for the students. So if that is a suggestion and they want that done, then we can definitely talk to Airmark and see if they can do it, but that's up to Airmark. So any suggestion, even if we can't necessarily do it, we can definitely pass it on to the right people and let them know, and if not, we can find out why. And actually, we're going to have a new grievancy form on our website next year, and it's where students can fill out anything that they feel like needs to be changed on campus, whether it's a policy, whether there's something unfair with a teacher, and our job is not necessarily to change that, but to pass it on to the president. And so if they want toasters, we can pass it on to Airmark and let them know. So
there should be according, this is another question, there should be better teacher to student communication. That's the statement. Here comes the question. Is it possible for SGA to help with student and teacher communications?
Communication, like in the classroom, or are we talking about like I've heard students talking about the O-Drive and the different programs that are hard to
This might be communications as far as, I'm reading this, that if I have a complaint with an instructor, can I go to SGA
Yes.
and tell them about it and let them kind of go anonymously to the instructor or to the director of that department and Let them know.
I mean, we're not going to physically go to that professor, but like I said, with the grievancy policy, they could, if there is a problem, maybe where the professor is not doing something they're supposed to be doing, or there's some, I don't know, discrimination or something like that. Anything like that could be written on the grievancy policy and we could pass it on to higher administration. We're not going to physically go talk to that professor because we're students, and I feel like that's kind of a conflict there. But, I mean, any complaints, including that, we can pass it on to administration and at least let the student know that something's being done.
Unless the Chiefs are in town, Western is considered a dry campus. Some students have voiced their disapproval of this and claim it to be hypocritical of the university to allow it for only the Chief training camp. Does the SGA have the ability to change or influence this policy? Either way.
You know, SGA could make a big stand and say that we are completely against it, and we could rally for the students on that. We could definitely do that.
Now, you said you were going to support the students. Let me ask you that. What if students actually voted to have a non-dry campus and allow alcohol on campus? How would you handle it? How would your administration handle it? What do you think would happen?
If we brought it to a vote and the students did vote on it, that's what they want, we would pass it on administration. I'm not for sure if we have the ability to make it not a dry campus or not. I'm honestly not sure about that. But if it was passed by the students, we would definitely let administration know, let them know the percentage of students that voted on it, and we would let them know that's what the students want, and I think that's important. I'm just not sure if we have the ability to change that or not. I'm not
Last
sure.
questions about entertainment in Blum Union. Can the SGA do anything about getting a live entertainment there more often?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
they
where
can.
the money can go.
Yes, that's
Allison,
the definite.
I really want to thank you. I mean, we need to wrap it up, and I really appreciate your time and coming out on such a horrible night.
All right, thank you.
Good luck with your campaign and administration.
Thanks.